Hello everyone, welcome back to the YouTube channel. It's Rachel here from Makers Gonna Learn, your ultimate die cutting community. If you do not know who we are or what we do, we are here to offer you guys over 1,700 digital cut files, over 250 plus fonts, free commercial licensing, access to a members only Facebook group, free printable guides, and so much more fun. If you guys have a die cutting machine that works with SVG and PNG cut files, machines like a Brother Scan and Cut, a Silhouette Cameo, and a Cricut and Cricut Maker, those are amazing to work with our membership. If you want any more information about that or to join, click the very first link in the description below. Today I have a super awesome video for all of you guys today. I'm going to be showing you 15 hacks to turn any Cricut Beginner into a Cricut Pro. We have of course been crafting with our Cricut for years and years. Tanner is a veteran. He's got over 10 years under his belt of crafting with Cricuts, and I wanted to compile this list of things that would be amazing for beginners to be able to watch and learn. That way they can advance a little bit faster to get crafty even more. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the hacks. The first thing I want to tell you guys is to organize your tools and blades well. Nothing is worse than a super messy craft room where you can't seem to get anything done and it's just too messy to work. A clear craft space equals a clear head for better crafting. So guys, we absolutely love this little storage caddy that we got from our local Hobby Lobby. If you guys want to know all about this and where to get it, I will link the video down below to show you guys where to grab this. And in that video is the link also, so definitely go check that video out. But this storage caddy was basically made for Cricut blades. And then up top, we have a lot of our replacement blades and things like that. So these are super handy to keep around, and we keep all of our blades in here so they're all in one place. Before we had this system, they were kind of thrown around our different machines and we could never really find them when we needed them. And this has really made our crafty habits a lot more concise and a lot more time friendly, because we don't have to be searching around for everything. It's all in one place. So definitely keep your tools and all of your blades well organized. The next hack I have for you guys is to always weed on your mat. It is an absolute game changer, and sometimes I still see people not weeding on their mat and it breaks my heart. Whenever you're ready to weed, just pop your material out of your machine and weed right on the mat, okay? Start from an edge, peel it up that way. Whatever your habits are with weeding, try it on the mat. It's going to change your life. You'll get in the habit of not getting your hands on the sticky parts to be able to preserve your mat stickiness, of course, and you'll definitely get used to it and learn to love it. It's like a third arm, and it really helps you to be able to craft easier and not get as overwhelmed, especially for a beginner. It is no fun when you're trying to weed vinyl and you have it peeling up all over the place and you can't keep it on your craft surface because it's just not straight down flat where you need it. So just use the mat to your advantage, guys. It is an amazing hack that I have used from day one and I love it. The next thing I want to note, guys, is to make sure you're making test cuts with brand new materials you've never used before. Your Cricut Maker or your other type of Cricut is a big investment. All the materials you purchase is a big investment, and you do not want to waste your time, your energy, or your money. So definitely take out a new material like this basswood that we have and make a test cut. Just get out your knife blade and have it make a little circle just to make sure that the setting and pressure you've chosen works well with your material. That goes for, foil cardstock and heat transfer vinyl, anything new that you've never cut before. Just better safe than sorry. Make a little test cut in the corner, one that will waste minimal material, and that way you know that you'll have success whenever you make your big projects, because nothing is worse than thinking that you're choosing the right setting, and maybe you are, but for that particular material it just didn't work very well, and then you've ruined all your material that you've bought and you've wasted time on it, and we don't want that. So definitely, guys, keep in mind to always make test cuts. One thing I love to do when we are working with little script fonts and using a Cricut adhesive vinyl is to reverse weed. So there are some rules when you reverse weed, and you can only reverse weed adhesive vinyl. You are technically already reverse weeding HTV, but it is a great little trick to know when you have super small little intricate lines and cuts in your design. It is really smart to think about going ahead and reverse weeding, and you guys are probably really confused about it and want to know what it is, but let me tell you, especially if you guys are going to want to start a business and start doing this and make money with your Cricut, then you guys are definitely going to want to learn how to reverse weed. We want to set you guys up with all the skills to be able to be hit with all the different challenges and know how to overcome them. So the more processes and the more techniques that you guys have under your belt, the quicker and better you can overcome little craft hurdles that you find through your years of crafting. So one of those that you need to know is how to reverse weed. I have an amazing video, a very short, concise video teaching you exactly how to reverse weed. I will link it down below. It's a great process. It is not much more time consuming than weeding regularly, and for some projects I think it is 100% necessary. I've had some projects that I have chosen not to reverse weed, and I've actually had fails with them, knowing that if I had took the time to reverse weed, they would have come out as project successes. So definitely learn how to do that in the link below for the video. It is a great technique to keep under your crafty belt. And the next tip I have for you guys that is really crucial, especially when using paper products, is to be able to remove your material from your mat upside down. So that sounds really confusing, and I'll explain it here, because what will happen if you peel your paper up like this is it's going to curl on you, okay? So we don't want that to happen. You don't need to be peeling it up this way. It will really mess up your project. So what we do is we flip our entire mat over. We call this going with gravity. So gravity is pushing down on us right now. So what we're going to do, instead of peeling our material up from our mat, we're going to pull our mat up from our material. So when you do this, you peel away the mat and keep one hand on your material, and you just peel that right off. Flip your mat over, and here, guys, you still have a perfectly straight piece of cardstock. There is no curling or anything like that, like there would be if you had peeled it up this way. So that is an amazing tip that we use, and guys, we practice it with every material, whether it's HTV or regular adhesive vinyl. We do that for every single material. So this is a great practice to get in the hang of. The next hack to make you go from a Cricut Beginner to a Cricut Pro is to know when and when not to use more and less pressure. So this is a design space thing, it's a machine thing, and what it is after you choose your material settings, there is a little switch, a little toggle there, a little drop down menu where you can select more or less pressure. Now it is always constantly set to default pressure, so that means the pressure of your blade cutting is at default level. So what this means is if you have a brand spanking new machine with a brand new blade, you might not want to use a standard pressure because that might cut a little too deep with that super sharp blade. So that is why Cricut designed less and more pressure. So for a blade that is very new, very sharp, we recommend using less pressure. That way the blade will pull up just a bit and not cut so deep because it is a very fresh blade. And once your blade cuts several times, you'll notice it getting a little bit duller, not cutting as well. Then you can go ahead and change that setting back to default. Now this is something you have to do every time you load in another mat and select another material. So you do get to go ahead and reselect that with every new design that you are cutting. But we love to use more pressure when we want to get more life out of our older Cricut blades. So what that means is it's kind of the opposite of needing less pressure for a very fresh blade. So after we've left it on default pressure for a couple of weeks or months, depending on how much you craft, if you see that your blade is getting a little bit duller, maybe dragging a bit on the paper and not cutting it quite as cleanly as you'd like it, go ahead and switch it to more pressure for your projects. That way it'll make the needle or the fine point blade go in a little bit more and cut it a little bit better. So that can extend the life of your blades depending on what setting you choose. And now we'll go over to Design Space and I will show you how to do that and where that is located at. And once you have this in Design Space, guys, go ahead and just click Make It, and then it will show you your mat here. Go ahead and click Continue, and then we're going to select our material. Let's just say we're using vinyl today. And now, guys, right under number 1, after you select your material, you can see pressure default right here. Well, if you click that drop down menu, you can see more and you can see less. So this is exactly what I'm talking about. So depending on your blade, if your blade is super new, give less pressure. If your blade is relatively old, give more pressure. If it seems to be cutting perfectly, leave it on default. And that is the way that you guys can know how to change your pressure and get more life out of your Cricut blades and have less project fails as well. And guys, the next tip I have for us is to snip your transfer tape when you're putting it on any rounded project. So if you're putting it on something like a mug or a Christmas ornament, anything that's kind of rounded, you're going to want to snip your transfer tape, and I'll tell you why. So here is a failed image that we have cut out and weeded incorrectly. This was one of our test cuts that we had earlier this week. So we're going to use this as a demonstration. So of course it is not finished. So don't think that this is what it's supposed to look like. But this is just for demonstration purposes. So here we have a roll of our masking paper transfer tape, and this, guys, is amazing transfer tape. We absolutely love it. If you take one thing away from this video, get masking paper transfer tape. And what we're going to do is I'm first going to snip off this little tail to make it even. And now I'm going to go ahead and cut off a piece that will fit our piece here. And this stuff is so cheap. And it's so economical. We got off of Amazon. And now, guys, you're just going to lay this down right there, okay? Rub it on there. Grab your burnishing tool. You guys should know how to do this. So, guys, if you don't, I'm going to link to a wonderful video all about working with adhesive vinyl for beginners, because I did go through that very fast, and that's because I'm just giving a demonstration today. So what is good about this is whenever you place vinyl on a rounded surface, for some reason it likes to peel up and it doesn't want to stay down. And also a big problem is that the backing wants to overlap and then bunch up and then make our vinyl project be a little fail, and we don't want that. But before we place that on there, our next tip, guys, is to always use rubbing alcohol on your vinyl project. So the reason we do this is because there's a lot of dirt and oil from your fingertips that can collect on mugs like this, and we want to make sure that this is clean and ready to be ready for our vinyl to be placed on it, because that is how we'll get a ton of project success. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab a paper towel, and then we're just going to set our mug to the side. And this, guys, is a cute little pump bottle we found at the Dollar Tree, and it's just filled with alcohol. And we have our paper towel, and we're just going to give us a couple pumps here on our paper towel with our little pump bottle and wipe this off. You can wipe off all of them if you want to, all around, because another tip, I'm just full of tips and tricks today, guys, is to make sure you pay attention to what way you're drinking your coffee or your tea or whatever. So I'm a right-hander, so I am holding it with my right hand, so I want my decal to be this way, if that makes sense. So we're going to place it on this side. And another hack, guys, when you're placing vinyl on mugs, is that the handle likes to go down and you don't know what the center is. So if you have a little bottle of paint, you can pop it right under that handle and it will be perfectly straight for you guys. So that's a great little hack as well. So now we're going to bring back in our vinyl, and this is what we're going to do. What I mean by snipping is we're going to take our scissors and we're going to go in here and we're going to make a slit, okay? We're going to go all around there making slits. You can be as aggressive as you want around and make as many slits as you want. And it's also smart, just like we did here, to be able to slit on the inside of your project, just making sure, of course, we don't touch any letters, numbers, or images or anything like that. So now that it's slit, guys, it will do so much of a better job at going on here. So we're just going to lay it on here. And this is too big for a mug and everything. So don't, this is not meant to be on a mug. I'm just demonstrating the technique. So you can just place this down and see right here, guys, this is a great example. How this guy laid down beautifully and this guy's kind of flapped up. Now, if he continued all the way around like he was supposed to and we laid him down, look, you see that right there, how it overlapped? It would crinkle on our design and ruin our design, but it did not happen that way because we have creased our paper. So you see there's another example right there. How we're doing this, how it's overlapping like this, is exactly why we use these little slits in masking paper transfer tape. And now once you peel all these up, it's absolutely flawless, guys. It's just perfect. It went down exactly the way we wanted it to, and we don't have a single regret because it looks great. So that is why we love to make little slits in our masking paper transfer tape when we're using them for rounded projects. The next thing that is so crucial to having project success and being a Cricut Pro is to measure your projects. Nothing is more heartbreaking than not measuring your project or measuring it incorrectly. So what I mean by that, if we are trying to put vinyl on a t-shirt, we have to size it according to the t-shirt. And then after we measure our t-shirt physically, we can go in Design Space and change that size in there. But if we fail to do that, or we maybe just do it really quickly and guess on a number. It could be way too large or way too small for the material that we're using and the project that we're using it on, and that can just be devastating. So make sure that you pay attention and you measure. It is very professional. It is very cost effective, time saving when you measure twice and cut once with all of your projects. That will take you from a beginner to a pro faster than you know if you don't make as many mistakes when sizing your projects. All right, guys, number 10 is to make sure that you label your scraps, okay? So what I mean by that is after we get done cutting something and we have just a little bit of scrap left, label it. You, in an ideal world, would have 2 different vinyl scrap bins, one for HTV and one for adhesive vinyl. And sometimes not so much on the adhesive vinyl, but with the HTV, it can be very tricky to know what is what. There is foil, there is Cricut brand, there is different brands, there is a Sportflex, there is everyday iron-on, there's iron-on light. There's so many different types of HTV, and you really don't want to get those confused. And you might be thinking, well, that's fine. Well, as I'm cutting it and as I throw it in the scrap bin, I know that this is regular iron-on, so I'm not going to forget that. But in 2-3 months when you need it again, you might not remember exactly what it is because they do look very similar. So especially on HTV, make sure you write it on the shiny side, the transfer paper, where it's not going to matter as much, and just get a Sharpie and just write iron-on. Okay, and that way everyone knows it's just regular iron-on. If it was Sportflex, you could write Sportflex. It was foil, you could write foil. Whatever it is, just make sure that you label your scraps, and that way you're not wasting time trying to sift through them and remember what they were or anything like that. As long as you continue to label them, they will be foolproof for you. It's not a secret that Cricut brand weeding tools are expensive. I think for one weeder, it's $9, and that can be pretty steep, especially with how many we go through. We like to bend ours and they break often. So it is a great idea to shop around for some non-Cricut brand alternatives for weeding tools that you guys will really enjoy. So the first one that we love to recommend is the Pen weeding tool. This is amazing. It's from 651 vinyl, and it looks like a regular ink pen, but the tip is a little needle, and it is great for weeding. This is an amazing product, and it actually has a lifetime warranty. So if you guys want to see this, I will link it down below. And also, guys, we went to Harbor Freight. We have a whole video about a lot of weeding tools you guys need from Harbor Freight, and I will link it down below. And we featured these two. This is a mini pick and hook set and a test probe set, and these guys were so cheap. The prices on these, I think he was like $2 and he was like $1.50 or vice versa. I mean, they're so cheap, and they're stainless steel. They're not going to go anywhere. They're very trustworthy, and they are great products. So definitely shop around. Don't feel compelled to only buy the Cricut brand weeding tools. Go out and see what you can buy, see what fits your style better, and see what you like the most. But definitely don't feel obligated to just get Cricut, because there's a lot of other great brands out there that do just as well, if not better. Next, I want to tell you all about fast mode. So if you guys have been here with us a while, you guys know that I personally do not like fast mode, but that does not mean that I do not want to tell you guys about it, because I want you all to make your own choice about fast mode. So fast mode is, again, like the more and less pressure down drop menu on Design Space. It is another little Design Space feature that you guys have the opportunity to take advantage of. So fast mode for the Cricut makers and Cricut Explorer Airs and Explorer Air 2s, I think, have them. It is a way to make your cut go a little bit faster. So it kind of kicks the Cricut into high gear and has it cut a little bit quicker for you. And this can be great if you're in a hurry, or if you're making a large project, large meaning like the design large, not like very large but still intricate. It can help speed up that process. However, we do want to caution you, because as Cricut is so smart to give you guys fast mode, sometimes you really do not need to use it. If you're using lighter cardstock, printer paper, vellum, tissue paper, anything like that, do not use fast mode. It is just not worth shredding your material if the possibility arises and your Cricut does not cut it properly. That's not to say that I think Cricut does not cut as concise on fast mode. We just know from Maker's Gonna Learn that you can easily have craft fails if you use fast mode on the wrong material. So all the light, very thin, very fragile materials, you really don't want to be using fast mode. So just keep that in mind mine next time. And now I'm going to switch you over to Design Space again and show you guys where fast mode can be found, because I get a lot of questions on, well, I hear about this fast mode, but I don't know where it's at. So guys, I just want to let you know it's actually after you load in your mat. So you will have already selected your material, selected your pressure setting if you wanted to change it from default, and then you load your mat in, and now is when fast mode will become available. I will switch over again to Design Space and show you guys how that happens in just a second. So guys, here is Design Space, and you do not see it now because it is a little bit hidden, but under number 2 you can see number 3 it says press go, and then there's a little toggle switch for fast mode. Well, you can't click it now because you haven't loaded in your mat. So I'm just going to reload in this mat just like I showed you a second ago, and watch the screen. There you can see number 2 goes up there, it kind of hides away, and then number 3 gets highlighted, and now we can click this fast mode toggle. So see, you can click it on, click it off, just depending on what you want, and right there is fast mode. So it is after you load in your material before you press that flashing Cricut button. So that is a great thing to note if you guys are interested in fast mode. And guys, another way that you can go from a beginner to professional is to always make sure to have your frequently used materials around your craft space with extras. So what I mean by that is, let's just say we use a whole lot of cardstock. So we have 200 pieces of 120-pound cardstock, 200 pages here in the craft studio, because we know we use it often. We know that we use a ton of HTV and vinyl, so we buy bulk rolls from 651 Vinyl, big bulk rolls. We buy it by the yard, usually 5 or 10 yards, and we keep that around. It is not very professional to want to make a project, especially for a client or for a family member or something like that, and you run out of a product, or you think you have it and you don't. So always keep a running craft list on things that you need. That way when you're out and about and you spot a good deal, or when you're on Amazon, or when you go to 651 Vinyl, you know exactly what you need to purchase. So keep a list of things that you need, and keep extra cardstocks in your favorite vinyls, and some extra weeding tools, and more blade replacements and things like that around while you're crafting, and that will keep things very professional, so that you know you can make just about any craft at any time. And guys, I have said this before in another video, but I wanted to reiterate it again in this awesome hack video, because I truly believe this is a hack. If you want to be a professional Cricketer and you are just starting out, the best way to get there is to do projects you think you're bad at. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean if you truly know that you do not like making cards, to make a ton of cards. All this means is that if you feel like you are not comfortable yet, let's say weeding HTV, then you need to go and make sure you're weeding a lot of HTV, making more HTV projects, incorporating them more into your crafting, so that you can actually master that skill and move on to the next one that you're having trouble with, and the next one. That is how you're going to level up your creativity, level up your crafting, and become a Cricut Pro. You guys definitely need to make sure that you are being well-rounded in your crafting, because especially if you choose to build a business. And by the way, guys, build a business through die cutting is one of the 3 free e-courses we give you if you become a yearly member of Makers Gonna Learn. Anyways, if you are trying to build a business and you want to be able to fulfill client orders and be able to kind of conquer any project if they ask you to make it, you need to be well-rounded and know how to do things like reverse weed, like how to make a great card, how to, you know, put score lines in Design Space and things like that. You need to make sure that you're being well-rounded and doing projects you feel like you're uncomfortable doing. One of my favorite quotes is that you don't grow when you're comfortable, and that's very true. It's something I need to practice because I preach it all the time, but you really don't. Just a couple of years ago, I was really scared to work with resin and epoxy. I thought it was really hard and difficult to do, and now it is one of my favorite craft products to work with. I absolutely adore working with resin and epoxy, and that is just one example of something that I've overcome, being pushed out of my comfort zone, and it is an amazing feeling. So guys, that is going to level you up more than anything. Having the confidence to know that you used to hate weeding HTV, but now you can. Then you move on to your next subject that you want to be better at, and your next one and your next one. And it's just a great little circle of making sure you get better at crafting every single day. And last but not least, I can't believe this is the 15th hack, and this seems like a little one that I should have put at number 2 or something like that, but it actually matters a lot, is to make sure that you take your time when positioning your materials. So for instance, vinyl is particularly true for this statement. So let's say you have a big metal sign, okay? If you have your vinyl and it's already been weeded and you have your transfer tape on there and you're just trying to like see where it's supposed to go, there's a couple of tips that are really going to help you make sure that you do that properly, because in a lot of cases you don't have more than one shot to place your vinyl, and that can be very scary. Now with iron-on, it's easy to peel it up off a shirt and lay it back down, and peel it up and lay it down as many times as you want. But if you're placing, again, like I said, vinyl on a metal sign, it can be very, very tricky to be able to get that right the very first time. So a good tip is to maybe lay it on the floor, lay it a little bit lower so you can get over it and make sure it's in the center. Pull it tight on the edges, pull your transfer tape so it is flat. Don't let it kind of curve down in the middle to where you can't really see if it's in the middle or not. We like to pull it tight and to look over it and make sure that it is in the center. And then another thing we like to do is start in the middle. So once you have it and you like where it's at, poke your finger right in the middle of your design and work your way out from the inside. But guys, with a couple of those tips and tricks, you will have mastered your vinyl placement and HTV placement and things like that. But just keep in mind that it might be trickier than you think to place your vinyl onto a sign or something like that, and just be mindful of that and make sure that you know that once you place it, if you don't like where it is very hard to remove vinyl from something like a slick metal sign. You really just basically have to peel all the vinyl up and restart again with different, with a new cut file, because usually it just doesn't work out that way. So just keep that in mind, that it can be very, very tricky. That was a lot of hacks, guys. I hope that you enjoyed all of them. I hope that you guys are ready to level up in your crafting and you take some of these home and you use them every day. Let me know in the comment section below which ones you really enjoyed and which ones you're going to implement today. I hope that you had a lot of fun learning all of these, because I had a lot of fun teaching them. As always, guys, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already to see more amazing videos like this. Don't forget that if you want to be in on our amazing crafting community, to check the first link in the description below. If you love videos like this, then you will adore our membership and all we have to offer. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.